why the Denver Broncos took Bo Nix with the 12th overall pick in this year's NFL draft. It's interesting. It's not hard to see why they did it, but it's definitely a surprise still. We thought Bo Nix and Michael Penix Jr. were both day two guys, but with how the draft played out, we saw 6 quarterbacks taken in the first 12 picks of this year's draft. That 12th pick being Bo Nix to the Denver Broncos. We knew that there was a lot of quarterback needy teams in this draft, going into the draft. And then another team, the Atlanta Falcons, who weren't quarterback needy, decided to draft a quarterback in Michael Penix Jr. as well at 8. This was nuts. We heard a lot of rumblings towards the beginning of draft day that Michael Penix and Bo Nix were getting a lot more favoritism than we saw, or were more favored than we thought. Because again, we originally thought they were day two picks. Now, with what we see, with how the draft played out, with first 3 picks being quarterbacks, we saw that those quarterback needy teams had to reach a little bit if they wanted to get one of their guys. There was teams such as the New England Patriots who eventually took Drake Maye, but even they were thinking about Bo Nix and Michael Penix and maybe even trading down to get one of those guys and allowing somebody else to get Drake Maye. They eventually decided to go with Drake Maye, and we heard rumblings about the Raiders wanting Michael Penix, and heard the Broncos wanted Bo Nix. So when the draft starts, we see these first 3 guys go right off the board, right, in order, as we kind of expected: Caleb Williams, Jayden Daniels, and Drake Maye. 4th and 5th pick, we see Marvin Harrison, we see Joe Alt. Okay, cool. At 8, we see the Atlanta Falcons shock everyone by taking Michael Penix Jr. from Washington. And that is really one of the big reasons why the Denver Broncos had to take Bo Nix at 12. It was surprising for a lot of reasons. Michael Penix, well, first off, the Atlanta Falcons were not a quarterback needy team. They had Kirk Cousins. They just signed him to a $180 million deal over 4 years, including $100 million guaranteed. And so we didn't think they were going to be big players. And on top of that, we thought the 4th quarterback to be taken was going to be JJ McCarthy, not Michael Penix. Well, we see what happens. Michael Penix goes at 8. The Vikings trade up 1 spot to go from 11 to 10 to make sure nobody else passes them up. And they trade with the Jets to make sure that they get their guy in JJ McCarthy. Now at 11, we knew the Jets probably weren't going to be taking a quarterback this year. Might be looking at it next year, but they want to keep Aaron Rodgers healthy and happy, so they drafted another offensive lineman to protect him. At 12 now, the Broncos are on the clock. And there's really only one quarterback left who's first round worthy. At all. Bo Nix. Bo Nix is that guy. Bo Nix has had the longest collegiate career ever and is getting up there in age for a rookie. But they liked what he saw. One thing that Nick Saban said on College Game Day's version of the NFL draft is he said that he is the most accurate passer in the draft, which is huge and highly necessary in a Sean Payton offense. You have to get the ball out quick, and you have to be accurate. Everything else, we're not worried about down the field throws necessarily. Drew Brees didn't develop that for a little bit, and they compared him a lot to Drew Brees coming out of college. Though I don't think anybody's expecting him to have the elite Hall of Fame career that Drew Brees did have, they still see flashes of him in Bo Nix, which is really cool. But we heard so many things about Bo Nix being tied to the Broncos that it was now or never. It was originally reported a couple days ago that they went out and had a private workout with Bo Nix, and Sean Payton was in love. He's like, this is my guy. I need him. And they thought, well, this is a problem because the Broncos don't have a 2nd-round pick because they traded it to the New Orleans Saints for Sean Payton. Now, they just knew. With Michael Penix Jr. off the board, with JJ McCarthy, the Raiders sitting at 13 right behind them, we're definitely going to take a quarterback, I think, in Bo Nix. So, the Broncos did what they had to do. They drafted Bo Nix. The Raiders get Brock Bowers, which is one of the best players in the draft, so they can't be upset either. But now they don't have a quarterback. So the Broncos had to do what they had to do. They loved Bo Nix. Again, there's still more reports coming out each and every day about how much the Broncos love Bo Nix. Is he going to be a day one starter? I'm not sure. I don't think he should be. I'm more of a fan of letting rookies sit for at least half a season, if not a full season. But the only other quarterback options in Denver right now are Jarrett Stidham or Zach Wilson. So we'll see. There's going to be a quarterback competition for sure. I think they should let Zach Wilson start the season for the first couple games and then allow Bo Nix to get into it. But one of the great things about Bo Nix is he is super mature. Again, he's had the longest collegiate career ever in the history of college football. So he's more mature. He's more pro ready than a lot of people might think. He just needs to continue development. And no better coach in the NFL than Sean Payton to do that. So the Broncos get their guy at 12. Was it the right choice? Could he have been drafted a little bit lower? Sure. But with how the circumstances played out, I think they had to take him at 12. If they wanted to make sure they got Bo Nix, keep him away from the in-division rivals in Las Vegas, yeah, it was a good pick. And we'll see if it pans out. Again, let me know what you think about Bo Nix to the Broncos. Was it the right call? Is he going to be a great quarterback in this league? We'll find out.